Blessings, my viewers. Welcome back to the channel. Watch, like, share, comment, and subscribe. So right now, this is an update pertaining to the whole Clangz trial. Yeah, man, Clangz trial was on a little halt from the other day, from last year, but it's now back in full effect, my viewers. So yeah, this is what we get to understand right now. So let's go straight into it. Sykes points to no corroboration of evidence from ex-cop Clangz trial. Chief Justice Brian Sykes says the prosecution has presented no evidence to corroborate the testimony of a retired police inspector who claims that he was in constant communication with an alleged main operative of the Wandan faction of the Klangsman gang, Stephanie Moma Christie, who is also a St. Thomas pastor. Sykes made that assessment on the second day of his submission of one of the largest trials in Jamaica's history in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. A total of 27 defendants, including the alleged gang leader, Andre Blackman Bryan and Christie, remain on trial. According to Sykes, in the modern day of communication, it is possible to retrieve cause, record, to provoke, and claim that was made by retired lawmen that kept in contact with Christie. Instead, the judge said the lawman came to trial with his two long hands. Christie lawyer Alexander Shaw had denied that his client had any interaction with retired police officer. Sean also contended that the ex-lawman evidence was unreliable and said it had been fabricated. Sykes' testimony from the cop counter-argument by the defense raised an issue of credibility, and both sides of the argument will have to be examined. In his testimony last year, the retired lawman said Brian was in police custody. By September the 17th, he was scheduled to conduct an interview with him at the Spanish Town police lockup. On the day of interview, the officer said one of his colleagues told him that a woman outside wanted to speak with him urgently. The now retired investigator said he subsequently left the interview inside the station and went outside, where he met a woman who introduced herself as Stephanie Christie Cole, also known as Moma. Previous evidence present at the trial indicate that Christie was married to a religious man in St. Thomas and was herself a pastor. She was arrested in 2019 on the day that her husband was to be ordained as a bishop, police investigators previously testified. He was also heard in secret recording cell phone conversation that Christie's boyfriend in the gang was Fabian Johnson, alias Crux. She admitted to that on a recording that was subsequently played in court. After telling the court the identity of the woman who wanted to speak with him on the day in 2017, prosecutors asked the retired cop to identify Christie in court. He subsequently identified her, saying, "That's the great Moma." In continuing to detail the day he met Christie, the retired inspector said she told him that she was Livity Coke's baby mother and the G's woman. Livity is the alias for Linton Coke, a brother of Tivoli Gardens strongman Christopher Dodos Coke. Christopher Coke is incarcerated in the United States on drug-related charges. G mean general is one of the main alias of Brian. The inspector said Brian was noticeably happy when he was referred to as G by anyone. In reflecting on the day he met Christie, the retired lawman said he asked the purported pastor how she managed to have two of the baddest man them in Jamaica. In response, he said Christie said, "Me think up like that, me think up like that." The witness did not elaborate on what Christie was referring to. It was at the moment that the former policeman said Christie him want she could do to have the G released from custody. Anything can happen, The retired investigator recalled the woman saying as she tried to sway him to bribe. He said it was at that point she offered him 100,000 for Brian's release from custody. At this yard this me in a girl, the investigator recalled saying in response to Christie's offer, "You have two of the bodies man them and you are offer me 100,000. You mad? A two rifle you have to give me," he added. According to the former police investigator, Christie gave assurance that he wanted what to be given to him. "No problem once the G come out," that's Christie, the witness stated. Following conversation, the officer said he went inside the police station to conduct the interview with Brian. The then senior investigator told the court that he did not charge Christie for trying to bribe him because he believed she could assist him with getting information on the one-done breakaway faction of the Clangz gang. On the premise, he said he befriended her. He was also of belief that she was an influential member of the gang. The witness said then used the situation to his advantage and played along with Christie by misleading her in the process. He disclosed doing the evidence in court. Watch, like, share, comment, and subscribe.